Superintendent, Mr. Roberts, I want to personally welcome you to our meeting tonight. It's clear from your correspondence and the comments we have read online that you are all passionate about the Dakota football program and want what is best for our students. We share those same goals. Tonight, our administrators will be listening and taking notes during your comments. We will then ask our administrative team to review your concerns and suggestions and respond to you at a later date after the meeting tonight. As is customary, the board will not be answering questions, engaging in conversations, or debating the facts tonight. We are here simply to listen to what you have to say. We ask that everyone be respectful and attentive when people are speaking. While we have received numerous slips, it is our understanding that the slips pertain to a common issue, and those completing slips have agreed to have Mr. Mark Hall speak on their collective behalf. Again, thank you for being here tonight. Now I'd like to turn over to our superintendent, Ron Roberts, for some introductory comments. Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, President Hyden. Welcome to our parents, students, and community members that are here tonight. Thank you for coming to this meeting this evening. Before we get started with this section of our agenda from the community, I'd like to say a few things and provide some background information for our audience. On Saturday, November 2nd, we received a call from Channel 4 asking about a video that was circulating online showing some members of the Dakota football team surrounding a burning object on the ground. We learned that day it was a letter jacket being burned by a Dakota parent outside the stadium locker room. We also learned that it was a Dakota parent who had recorded the video. We did our best to address the comments on social media and to answer questions from the media so that they would not feature the video. We posted on social media sites so our community would know our students and coaches had nothing to do with the fire. At that time, we also indicated that we would continue to investigate the matter. The investigation continued the next day. We have an athletic code of conduct and a life of an athlete program. As I have stated before, we have high expectations for our coaches and our athletes. And while I cannot discuss the specifics of any disciplinary action taken with an employee, I can assure you that the district conducted a thorough investigation into what occurred that night. We interviewed coaches, staff, and students to determine the facts. We reviewed all evidence available to us. Our investigation took the better part of the week. During the last week, we have responded to parent concerns via email and phone calls to gather information and determine the next steps. Throughout the process, there have been negative comments directed at our Board of Education members. Those comments are unwarranted. I want you to know that while the Board of Education sets policy for our district, they are not responsible for day-to-day operations or employee discipline. That is a function of our HR department, our administrative team, and myself. Some have stated that we should have delayed our decision until after the playoff season was over. I agree that the timing could have been better. Unfortunately, we did not control the timeline. Following our investigation, given the information we had, delaying the decision would not have been the right thing to do. During this process, it has been rumored that people say, we favor one high school over another. I can tell you nothing could be further from the truth. We are very proud of both schools, and rightfully so. Our high schools are second to none. I would put our high school students up against any high school in the nation. Our students display exemplary talent and skills in a wide variety of areas. We are equally proud of the accomplishments of all students. Some have contacted us concerned that there will be suspensions or penalties for our students. The simple answer to that is no. As I have stated in my previous correspondence to our families, this issue was never about the action of our student athletes. This issue is about adults. At this time, unless we receive additional information, which we do not expect, this matter is closed from a disciplinary standpoint. To our Dakota Cougars that are here tonight, I am proud of your accomplishments this season. It bothers me to hear your parents tell me that you've been bullied on social media, and for that I am sorry. We never want our students exposed to the mean-spirited exchanges that have become all too common between adults on Facebook, Twitter, and elsewhere in our school community. As adults, we should lead by example. So I would appeal to the adults in our community, including everyone here tonight, to think twice before posting a negative comment about our programs, our students, and our school district. It serves no purpose. It only negates the hard work of our employees, our students, our parent volunteers, our Board of Education, and all of the wonderful things that are happening each day in the Chippewa Valley schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Mr. Hall.
Good evening. We are members of the Chippewa Valley School District and parents of the Dakota football players and other Dakota sports teams. We'd like to thank you very much for allowing us this time to present our concerns. The past 2 days, I've received messages from several people. There is a feeling by us speaking to the board may result in retaliation against the boys, team, coaches, and families. I am confident, being a government employee myself, that this board and administration, being a professional governmental body, would never resort to such tactics. I just wanted to assure those people that had those concerns that that wouldn't happen. We will be presenting our issues regarding the events that occurred after the Dakota Chippewa football game, November 1st, and the following days. We will briefly highlight the background as we understand it. We know a Dakota parent ignited his old Chippewa High School varsity jacket at Dakota High School as the team arrived. The father did it to make good on a long-standing promise to his sons. It was not done out of disrespect towards Chippewa. We do not condone what that parent did. He has owned his full culpability for his actions and apologized. The district has delivered consequences for his actions, and we do not dispute those consequences. Speaking with our sons, they arrived at Dakota after the game and exited the buses to this burning jacket. Most were perplexed. They weren't sure what the purpose of what they were witnessing. The locker rooms were locked. The coaches immediately proceeded to unlock the locker rooms. On the video, Coach Bauer is heard, "Get some ice water," presumably to put out the fire. Someone is heard saying, "Locker room," and the boys immediately go into the locker room to celebrate. One of the boys at our home shared a video that he showed where they were celebrating inside the locker room within 1 minute and 43 seconds after exiting the bus. None of the players are seen cheering at the fire. They simply stand there attempting to comprehend what's happening. On Saturday morning, we awoke to a firestorm of social media posts. Posters had misinterpreted the facts about the jacket burning. Allegations of a stolen Chippewa jersey burned to Chippewa by Dakota players and coaches was being spread. Our attempts as parents to present the facts of what really occurred was met with personal attacks. On social media, adults were attacking our boys, families, and coaches. Many of the posts have been taken down and deleted. We were able to capture over 100 posts. We won't publicly embarrass these adults at this time, but I will share a few of the comments. "Nice work, idiots." "Classless douchebags." "Coach should be fired." "Team should be stripped of their title." "Boys are allowed to behave poorly." "It's pretty obvious that kid did not learn good sportsmanship at home." "Forfeit the game." "Whoever was around or in that picture should be thrown out of school for a week." "Forfeit the season." "Program morally irresponsible." "He should have torched himself." "Pathetic trash." "Classless behavior." "A bunch of loser dads." "Pathetic and distasteful coaches and kids." What's wrong with these kids? Disrespectful, immaturity, and poor upbringing. 100% agree it's a coaching culture. Disrespectful kids. Dakota is a disgusting place. Dakota always takes it too far. They will be our little sister. Dumbasses. It was a player, right there. The player took ownership of the act. The parent tried to cover so all the players will be eligible. Did you see the district's email about this? It still appears the players were involved. Totally agree. Parent is just trying to cover for the kids. The school up the road doesn't know how to conduct themselves. They've been getting punked by Chippewa for so long, they don't remember how to act. Everyone despises that program. We owned and curb stomped Dakota. Such a disrespectful display led by a coach. They should not represent Chippewa Valley School District. That's a sampling. On Sunday, November 3rd, I sent Mr. Roberts and the entire administration a Dakota email. I outlined the incident as I understood it. I asked there be no rush to judgment in the investigation. I expressed my concerns over the adults who were viciously attacking the boys for doing nothing. On November 3rd, Mr. Roberts sent a district email indicating he was conducting an investigation into this matter. He cautioned he would not condone or tolerate disrespectful or unsportsmanlike behavior. And I do appreciate that. On Friday, November 8th, Mr. Roberts sent another email regarding the incident. In my opinion, in our opinion, he gave less than a total exoneration of the boys, stating, quote, "It's clear they played no role in setting the fire. Therefore, there will be no school consequences for them."
Meaning?
The onslaught of social media continued throughout the week. Friday, after Coach Bauer's suspension and loss, adults once again took the opportunity to gloat and insult our boys. Looks like Karma won tonight. Have a great off season while you pick up the pieces. Coach is involved after all. Shockingly, a Chippewa Valley School District employee posted on social media. Want to know what happens when boys are allowed to behave poorly because they play football? They grow up to be men that get away with murder, spousal abuse, and animal abuse. Monday, November 11th, many parents called, emailed the administrative offices, both at the school and here. We asked for a meeting for Tuesday to express our concerns. I spoke with Ms. Diane Blaine on speakerphone as my wife listened. Ms. Blaine informed us that the administration would not meet with us on Tuesday. She said it would take at least a week to set up a meeting. I explained to her that the adults had capitalized on the weak statement, which fell far short exonerating the boys. She agreed we could have done better. I asked her if Mr. Roberts would publish an email with a stronger statement clearing the boys of any wrongdoing in hoping of quelling the cyberbullying. That's not going to happen, I was told. I then asked Ms. Blaine if the administration would issue an email reminding the parents of the code of conduct and expectations and demand that the cyberbullying stop. Again, I was told that wouldn't happen. She said she was calling the parents and asking them to take down the post, but she didn't know who had all posted. Medical experts estimate 24% of teenagers who are cyberbullied consider suicide. Over 2 weeks into this incident, and the administration had refused to stand up and protect these boys. Coach Bauer was suspended for the perception of a possibility of an injury, even though no boys were injured or even felt any danger. Adults have attacked these boys on social media. The boys say they're angry, they're frustrated, they feel victimized, some are depressed. These are the classic danger signs of bullying. Dakota's football team's joy in this victory was short-lived, less than 12 hours. They were being viciously attacked by adults. Their sportsmanship, their values, their integrity, their parents, coaches, all attacked by adults. They were called poor sports, lowlifes, drug addicts, future murderers, wife beaters, animal abusers. What was the administration's response? Silence. The victory was not even mentioned Monday morning announcements. What the administration did was to pull them down out of their classes and interrogate them. Some more than once, without the rights of parents being present. The final insult to injury was Friday. Dakota players were pulled out of 6th hour. Some speculated they thought it was going to be a surprise pep rally to inspire them for that night's game. They couldn't have been more wrong. The adults were about to deliver the final gut punch. They were brought into a room where the administration had Coach Bauer read a statement that let them know he was suspended and would not be on the sidelines for their playoff game. Hours before the biggest game in their lives. At that moment, the last bit of joy they had went up in smoke faster than that jacket could have ever burned. On Wednesday afternoon, Mr. Roberts called my wife and I. We had a very civil and pleasant phone conversation. He asked me our concerns. I highlighted the aforementioned issues and expressed that I didn't think calling one parent at a time was an effective way to communicate. We have been asking for a group meeting for over a week to open communications. I assured Mr. Roberts it would be a civil meeting. We need to have effective communications to resolve these issues. Mr. Roberts told us it was apparent to him very early in the investigation the boys did nothing wrong. Mr. Roberts said he would meet with us under one condition, that we not attend this board meeting. I told him I could not make that agreement. Nevertheless, he did agree to meet with us on November 26th, almost a full month after the incident. Wow. This group of parents have been trying to get the administration and the board to hear our concerns over the issues as it relates to our boys. We believe our concerns and culpability of our sons are wildly misunderstood and vastly overstated. Unfortunately, our fears were greatly underestimated beyond our dreams. Astonishingly, this past Saturday afternoon, an unnamed school board member wrote one of the Dakota parents a scathing email. It was clear that this board member doesn't understand the basic facts of our concerns. The board member wrote, "I'm too deeply disturbed and embarrassed because of the reaction of yourself and the other Dakota parents. What happened after an emotional game was very poor judgment, horrible sportsmanship, and lack of leadership. I can go on, but it only gets more insulting, and that's not my intent.
Yeah, do tell.
This has never been about the game. It's never been about the game." The email continued, "The ignorance that's surrounding this entire situation is appalling. To think that a group of parents is so angry over a football game is ridiculous." This board member further demonstrates absolutely no understanding of our concerns, none. The board member continued, "In my opinion, a one-game suspension is a slap on the wrist. It continues to disturb me that he cannot take control of the situation and help his team and parents see right from wrong. He completely misunderstands our concern and the situation on a whole." He continues, the board member continues, "Disciplining employees is the job of the district leadership. They are paid to run the district, not a group of parents, not the Board of Education. For your group of parents to think they have any say in how a district employee is disciplined is ridiculous." This group fully acknowledges disciplining employees is a job of the district. However, we would contact the district if a teacher or coach put our children in danger, and we would demand action. We often hear from schools that parents don't support their teachers and coaches often enough. Not one Dakota football player or parent believes there was any danger. Therefore, we believed it was important to support Coach Bauer and his staff. We have never questioned Coach Bauer or his staff's ability to keep our boys safe. Respectfully, we do not agree with Coach Bauer's suspension, and we fully support him. In the past, many of us have publicly supported teachers and were thanked by administrators. Unfortunately, at least one board member believes us supporting a coach and expressing our concerns is ridiculous. The board member continued with their misunderstanding by stating, somebody explaining to that dad how inappropriate his actions were would have gone a long way. But everyone's lack of action is appalling to me as a district parent and an unacceptable response. That board member's incorrect assumption is the board member's incorrect assumption how we as a group responded on this matter is insulting. These assumptions are how we got here today. Assumptions and false narratives have been accepted as facts in this situation. The board member closed his email by saying, somewhere along the way, you have seemed to lost sight of what's right and what is wrong. Please do remember this, and don't vote for me again, if you ever did before. I don't need your vote, and I prefer not to have it. If this is what the board believes of our families and of our concerns, if so, the nearly 3,000 Dakota children parents will remember this. This school, these schools, this building, your positions exist for the children. That fact seems to have been lost, or worse yet, not even considered. As a group of parents, for the life of us, we cannot begin to comprehend the need to suspend the coach at the 11th hour. The adults in this situation could not have designed a military battle plan more effective to destroy these young men. Our view, the adult social media warriors, the athletic director, a board member, and this administration forgot who this is about. The swift action on this incident came at great cost. These fine young men will remember this the rest of their lives. Many of these boys dedicate their entire year to football, sacrificing their summer breaks to training. These boys, especially the seniors, are the true victims of this incident. The situation created by adults, capitalized by adults, and mishandled by adults. We brought the bullying of these young men to the attention of the administration on several occasions through written correspondence and by telephone calls. The boys disrespected no one. Nobody. They displayed no unsportsmanlike behavior. They got off of us and momentarily looked at a jacket. Although the boys have no visible burn scars, this administration has injured these boys far worse than a 30-year-old jacket burning on the sidewalk. The 2012 Chippewa Valley School anti-bullying policy states, the new policy allows the district to expel students, discharge employees, exclude parents, guests, volunteers, and contractors, and remove any official position or request a resignation on part of a board member. Mr. Roberts warned in his email this conduct will not be tolerated. We will be providing you, this board, with over 100 social media posts made by parents, alumni, parents of former players, former Booster Club members, and most disturbingly, an employee of this district. The Dakota father at the center of this mess was served a 1-year no trespass order. We are asking the administration to enforce the anti-bullying policy and/or code of conduct on those who are found to have violated it. Similarly, we believe a 1-year ban of those who are found to have committed violations should be considered.
Good.
Chippewa parents, district employees, administration officials, even a school board member thought they understood the facts. In reality, we know, even as of Saturday, the entire story was untold. This is why we have been asking and asking for a meeting with the administration to communicate our concerns. This is our community. We chose to live here. We now must find a way to heal these wounds. What happened to these boys can't be undone. As our elected representatives, you can mitigate the damages and put measures in place to assure such travesties never occur again. We hope all can come together as Chippewa Valley School District. We are proud of each other's accomplishments while enjoying a fun, healthy rivalry. As board members, this is a heavy tasking ahead of you. This can only be accomplished with open minds and all the facts. We as parents ask this board to stand up and protect our sons. Deliver a strongly worded public exoneration of all of their culpabilities in this incident for the players. Further, we ask this board send a strong message to the adults that attacks on children in this district will not be tolerated. We will await a reasonable time for a decision of this board before we take any further actions in defense of our children, families, and coaches. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you.